stuff. Of course, I can add.
Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of the fast sketching croquis vite fait, and in this section I will just put a color in the previously done brief sketch of the Venetian architecture. So it's also, the sketch is also kind of you know quite brief, not really and very elaborated, much more artistic approach really than super hyper realistic, and just give impression of something between realistic or and artistic. So of course I don't have the comfort to take my time and prefer the nice colors and everything. I just take whatever gets under my brush and just try to somehow find less or more the colors I can see of the buildings and the kind of reflections in the water. Of course, if you want to do it perfect aquarelle, it's not going to be just this few minutes. It's going to take you a little bit much more time, because you have to prepare the colors adequately and whatever you already want to do elaborated. But this, as I said, the travel sketching is actually, for this travel sketching is not necessary. You can, based on this sketch and this coloration, you can actually after do painting. This is kind of sketch which would lead you somehow regarding forms and everything. So that's approximate way of doing this. I'm gonna do two more videos about the Venetian architecture, just to show you different approach. I mean, not really approach, but different kind of forms. Sketching Venice. Venice is a really beautiful place for this, and if you really want to explore the sketching of architecture, that's the best place to be. So just have a look, and you can try to do also briefly as well. It's kind of sketching for practice. It's more about practice than the important thing is to, when you sketch architecture and very brief and strong, is to decide what you really want to put on the drawing, on the paper, to give the impression of what you see, the forms and the colors and the lines and everything. So that's why this kind of work that you have to think all the time. You can't just do it automatically. To a certain point is something between automatic and analytic at the same time. But this is good to build a kind of experience in the research of colors, coloration of the forms you see, you observe. So, yeah, of course, it would take much more, a little bit longer than if I wouldn't have the brushes loaded with water. That helps a lot, because you just touch a little bit the paint, and right away you have something on the brush, because the water is allowed to do so. Otherwise you would have to put the brush in the waters and again, and it's actually, this time it takes how much, around 10 minutes, and normally it would take probably 20, because the same sketch, because you would have to put the brush to the water, and after the water to the paint, and then paint is those of you who do some kind of paintings, and either aquarelles or any kind of other paintings, that the most time actually is the mixing, is the thinking about what kind of color, how I can mix two colors or three together in order to get something that I am looking for. So this is kind of, it's not only the sketch is one part, one thing, but after is all the rest. because the sketches also, if you would like to do it now, much more elaborated the forms and push it a bit further quality of drawing, that would take you another, half an hour to do so, and maybe more. It depends to which level you would like to bring this. If you would like to bring this scenery, I see, for to like kind of keep realistic, it would take you not only 1 hour, but definitely much more than that. So that's, it's depend who is looking for what. I like rather fast way of sketching. I do all kind of drawings. I do also look at my webpage, you can see also the very elaborated, and which I spent hours and hours to do. But for some reason I like the action, I like the speed, and I want to do it in a realistic time. So none of my videos is done with any kind of software which speed ups a little bit the gesture and the sketch, whatever I do. No. I don't do that because, first of all, for the main reason for it is that I think that if student or somebody who wants to learn something, needs to know how much time it might take, and so he can judge approximately where he is with his own practice. He could be faster even that what I am doing here, or might be much more slower, but this all depends. You have to be realistic that certain things, it takes time and learn. Sometimes some of them you don't have to spend so much time, because the question is that if you too much focus on details, it's going to kill you timely, because you're going to have to, you have to somehow trick the details, put some stuff which would give the impression of realistic fluent ornaments, whatever details which you distinguish when you look at the landscape, the architectural landscape in front of you. So it's kind of, when you paint, when you draw, brief sketching, of course. In the brief sketching you have to also eliminate right away what is important or what is not, and just work with it. So it's a process which doesn't allow you to stop even for a moment, because especially when you want to do fast. So it's something which, until you don't try, you don't realize. When you try, you will see that it's not only, as I mentioned previously, sketch, but also you apply the colors, not just applying colors as you see, flat colors. Let's say it's kind of sepia, or it's kind of, the wall has a color of, for example, sanguine or amber or ochre. If you put it flat colors, it's just going to be flat, and you need to somehow, because even on the sepia orange colors, whatever is the buildings, walls, elevation, it's you need to give kind of this all kind of colors, not just one ochre. There's all other, especially in Venice, when you see at the building facade, you will see that there is multicolor surfaces there, because if you look at the plaster, old plaster, it's all kind of, even if it's color in orange or something, still you see a little bit bluish, a little bit ultramarine, a little bit gray, a little bit raw, amber, or whatever. It's all kind of things happen there. And that's what is the beauty of Venice. To sketch Venice is the beauty, because you have really challenging moment there as an artist, either aquarellist, either artist who loves to sketch architecture, and anyway, artists who like to sketch kind of actions. There is beautiful. That's the best place to do this, because it's really challenging. Everywhere you look, and from any direction you want to take something and somehow memorize on the paper you have in front of you with the mediums you are using. That's already a challenge. And as I said, mentioned a bit earlier, that also the perspective is really, you have to feel very well, understand very well how perspective works in order to get it right, or at least give the impression that it looks like it might be approximately what is there. So with all this in mind, you just try to practice this kind of fast sketching and liberate yourself a little bit. For me, it's kind of liberation, because most drawings I do, they're much more elaborated, but sometimes I like this kind of rough approach, and a little bit, as I mentioned already previously, much more artistic approach. So I wish you all the best, and see you in the next videos, when I'm going to show you some more samples. And until then, try and have fun in sketching. Bye now.
Everything, so then after you can go and at the end you can of course retrace a little bit, so certain parts you can just kind of add a little bit some kind of much more details or something, imitations of here you have something, for example, some kind of grill, whatever. There's something here, some kind of elements, decoration, the building and stuff from far away. And also this balustrade you can emphasize a little bit much more the lines, you still